Nooga Radio 92.7's First Responder Friday.
Where to go for lunch today? Go to the Top. The Top of the Hill Country Buffet offers a delicious lunch buffet every day. Golden fried chicken with mashed potatoes from scratch, daily fresh vegetables, a full salad bar with all the fixins, and fresh homemade cobbler. In addition to the buffet, Top of the Hill also offers a full menu. Plus, kids eat for $5 all day. Top of the Hill is located in Ringgold on Remco Shops Lane and is open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Where are you going for lunch? Go to the Top.
The station you hear everywhere. Nooga Radio 92.7.
Good morning. Girl Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show. I'm taking it from the street to the city hall, from the city hall to the mayor's office. Can't leave out the police department. From the valley low to the mountaintop, giving you guys a bird's eye view to what's going on here in the city of Chattanooga. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I hope everyone is having a wonderful morning so far. I hope that you're being careful because it's back. It hasn't stopped raining yet here in the city of Chattanooga, and it's going to be like that for the remainder of the week. So be careful when you're out here going about your day. Take your time. Can't get there if you're in an accident or something happens to you. So leave the house in enough time to be able to get to your destination safely. It's Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show, streaming live on Facebook, Nooga Radio 92.7 FM Facebook page, as well as YouTube. Marie Mott, your wartime consigliere. That is my new self-proclaimed title from now, henceforth, and forever. That I am going to war for you, the people, you, the listener, ensuring that you know what is going on here in the city of Chattanooga. And it's a lot going on and a lot of things going on when it comes to money. A lot of money that's not being collected, that is owed to the taxpayers. And every time I continue to ask people in power, what are you doing about getting the taxpayers' dollars back? They point fingers. Nobody has any responsibility. And you will be shocked to hear, because I got the proof. You know, it's not just about what I say. It's not just about what I feel. But the evidence comes from what people say. When you have a council person at an agenda session on just this past Tuesday, the agenda sessions are before the city council meetings. When you have a council person that hears that about 51% of stormwater fees that are in collections belong to the county and the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, which equates to about $5 million that should be collected by the city of Chattanooga. Not to mention, y'all know I've covered on this show before. Thank you to Helen Burns Sharp with ATM Chat, who has put together extensive information about pilots, TIFs, surplus buildings here in the city of Chattanooga, which we could use for to house our homeless population. Oh man, y'all, I've talked about it that we abated just this year alone, $26 million. The city of Chattanooga, Northern County want to go collect from businesses that we have given them tax breaks for sometimes 10 to 20 years. Nobody has the guts to go collect this taxpayer dollars. So 26 million with pilots and TIFs, and now another 5 million this year alone. 5 million is what we're at. The University of Tennessee at Chattanooga has not paid stormwater fees in almost 10 years. Now, I got to take my jacket off because I know I'm going to get hot in here. Now, how long can little sweet old granny not pay her property taxes before she gets put on the street? 800-8949. And I expect people to be flooding the phone lines today. And I'm going to go through today's show and I'm going to play the clips so you can hear, just in case you weren't at the agenda session, so you can hear what your council persons say that they want to do. Some of them say that they want to go after this money. Some of them, a good portion of them, say they don't want to go after this money. And we can't forget this because 2020 is right around the corner, folks. And all of these people, I guarantee you, just about 99% of them are either going to try to keep their seat on the city council or run for mayor. And if these folks won't go collect taxpayer dollars to the same businesses that they gave breaks to, can we trust these people? Now, your grandmama can end up on the street with all her stuff because she lives on a budget and she can't quite afford anymore to live in the city of Chattanooga. But big business, which often crushes small business, the big businesses here don't have to pay taxes. And then when it's owed to the people, nobody has to go collect it. 800-8949, because I really want to hear how the people feel about this. We know our schools are failing. Shucks. Not only are the schools failing as far as coursework, but then a lot of our schools are falling apart. We're driving on raggedy roads that need to be paved. There are a lot of neighborhoods, the majority of neighborhoods that are not in the downtown area. They don't even have sidewalks. I live in a neighborhood that doesn't even have sidewalks. Can we afford to walk away from $26 million and not go collect that? Can we afford to not hit up the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga for the money that they owe the city? Are we giving special preference to them just because they are a college or a university? So, folks, if we do not understand, this is corruption. This is corruption at its finest. And we can continue to play blind, like we don't see all of this stuff happening in our city. We can continue to act like we don't read it in the paper, like we can't read it at the Chattanoogan, like David Toulis doesn't cover some of this stuff going on. Christopher Dahl. There are a lot of people who ask a lot of questions, and it's getting so tricky out here. I'm telling you how grimy it's getting out here. The city officials a lot of them are feeling so much pressure from me and other individuals who come down to the city council and continue to ask questions. You got good people like David Toulis, the smartest guy with the bow tie, with his Title 55 initiative. You got me. I'm talking about a little bit of everything, from pilots' tips to police brutality, homelessness. Yeah. You got people like Christopher Dahl. Christopher Dahl has been on top of stormwater fees, sewage for a long time. And not only does he go to city council, this man takes time out of his day to go to the county meetings as well. Folks, do we understand that these people are playing with our money? And when we look and we see that there's no park for our children to play in, when we look and we see that we're tearing up our vehicles that we got to pay for every single day, have to buy new tires, new suspension because of these raggedy streets that we have in this city. When we look at neighborhoods that don't have sidewalks, imagine what $26 million can do. And when I talk about pilots and tips and the abated taxes in 10 years, the pilots alone are going to equate to $400 million. If you don't believe me, just do your homework. ATM Chat by Helen Burns Sharp, one of the most formidable women I have ever met. $26 million this year. You telling me that we can't put parks and sidewalks and pave roads with that money? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Talk to me.
Good morning. Hey, I used to deliver mail, and I delivered probably hundreds of postcards to people that were owing money to the city of Chattanooga, and it ranged anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000. And these people just ignore what the cards they get in the mail, but the city never goes out and tries to collect it in person. They just send out postcards.
Thank you so much for your comments. That's absolutely true. And the reality is that we have to ask ourselves, who is paying for this on the front and the back end? It's the taxpayer.
The taxpayer is the one who's losing. We're the one who's losing, because not only are we giving breaks to big businesses, and we're not really doing that for small business. And y'all know how I feel, how my station feels about local economy, about the little guy being able to compete in a town, employ people, give back to their neighborhood. We don't have to have just big business to be able to do that. We can have local economy. But when we take taxpayer dollars to attract people here, there should be clawback provisions that not only when people don't pay, there's a legal binding agreement to where they have to pay on top of what they didn't pay. There's a penalty. How are we penalizing people? Now, and the crazy part is that the taxpayer is always the person who's quickly penalized in any given situation. But when it comes time for big business and government, not only do they get to be flagrant in their non-payment, but then nobody has the guts. The same people who want who want us to vote for them, put them back in office, play around with them, shuck and jive with them, beg them. These same folks somehow can't turn around with the strength that they should have, because everything that they do impacts people. Nobody has the guts to say, well, even if I got to go by myself, I got to put on my suit, my shoes, and I got my phone with me. Y'all know how I do. See, y'all don't want me to be mayor of the city of Chattanooga. Y'all don't want me to be mayor because I'm knocking on doors. All right. Provost or I'm so grateful to be here at the University of Tennessee of Chattanooga, but it's come to my attention that you guys have not paid about a $5 million bill to the city of Chattanooga. And I regret to inform you that we're going to need all those monies and need them right away. Y'all don't want me to go to the county meeting and tell the county mayor, like, my city needs, my city needs its money back. We need our money back. Because there's children out here. It's children out here walking around without coats, without jackets. It's homeless people that have been waiting 3 years. I had homeless people on my show about 2 weeks ago that have been waiting on waiting lists for 3 years to get housing. I can't afford for you not to pay your bills. My people can't afford for you not to pay your bills. Do y'all want me to be real? And people have a lot to say about me, but that's why I say I'm a wartime consigliere. I'm telling you, these two hands of mine, you don't want to box with me. You don't want to box with me because I'm for the people. I'm for the people. And after I hit you with this right hook, I'm going to hit you with an uppercut, and it's KO. Let me play the clips so y'all will believe me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maria, can we talk a little bit about the uncollectible fees? That grabbed my attention. You said we have about $1 million a year in uncollectible, and we're currently at $4 million. I'll give you a second to catch up.
Our total uncollected, fees and interest is $9,568,043.31.
Okay, hang on, back up. I'm a small business owner. That would crush me.
And as you can see,
if I couldn't collect
here, about half of that is from government entities.
Unpaid from the government?
Unpaid from the government. Most of that is Hamilton County, but that does include UTC and the federal government.
And how old is this debt?
Since 2010. This is from 2010 to 2017.
Okay, you can probably figure out where I'm going next. Again, as a small business owner, what measures are we taking? Because when I see that kind of debt, I think that's being passed on to ratepayers. That's the way it works in business. I know that's just the way it goes. We all pay that. We all end up paying that whenever we buy. So what measures are we doing right now? And I see Mr. Holland about to approach the bench, so to speak. So what are we, Justin, what are we doing to try to reclaim that?
So we work with our Treasury Department and Finance to recover the Treasury's office. Part of their job is to bill and collect those fees. So after the bills are sent to ratepayers, there are some mechanisms to collect on debt, and I would ask Finance to maybe to give another opportunity to present how they collect that debt.
Okay, I would be really, really interested to see a follow up on this. I won't hold you to any more answers on this right now, but I think it's important that if we're not collecting what's owed to us, so to speak, then that has a detrimental impact on any fees that we have to charge. And I mean, that's crazy amount of money.
I think there are, I don't see David for Finance here to answer this, but I think there are mechanisms to collect on debt. I just would have to yell to them.
Sure. Completely understand. I just want to point that out, that when we see that kind of money, I mean, you know, in my business, we get on the phone, we start sending nice emails, we do something to with past due accounts. And I think I would love to see that same application. I'm getting a head shake from Maura that you agree that we've got to do the same thing. We've got to be more diligent. So I want to propose the challenge. Like that, then let's prove that that's a lot of money that's out there.
Thank you. We'll get with Finance and Treasurer's Office and update you on what we do currently and if there's any other avenues.
Okay. And my last point, Mr. Chairman, is to follow up on Councilwoman Burz's question. I think this $105,000 change order is really what the council had asked to basically come through and present a different rate program. And with that, the consultant would provide to us what that plan would implement cost-wise, whether it's an increase or a decrease. Is that correct? On a yearly operation?
So we'll get back to you on whether that's in the scope or not. I apologize.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's a pretty in-depth question. Reaching into the consultant's role.
Just to add to that, the consultant could come back and tell us that we are doing it the best way
for us. Okay. Very good.
I did have a follow-up for your question, Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The original study did not compare the specific cities. That's one reason why we were asked to do more analysis as far as what they looked at to see how we compared as far as what we were charging. And the main reason why the consultant recommended we stick with the ERU structure that we have is because it was legally defensible. And the other structures have not been taken through the court system and defended. So that was part of the reasoning that the consultant gave for why we should use the system that is currently in place.
My. Did you guys hear that? Besides the fact of, if you didn't know who the male who was stammering through all of this was Mr. Justin Holland, Public Works Administrator, who Russell Gilbert, who I'm actually going to play a clip from him at the start of the second half, as well as a clip from Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Gilbert has challenged Justin Holland last week on, we continue to have city contracts that are awarded to contractors here in the city of Chattanooga, but they are using city equipment to get the job done. Why are we paying people? Oh, man. And he didn't have any answers for Mr. Gilbert, even though there have even been members of the community who have reported that they have seen contractors and non-city workers using city equipment to do contracting jobs. So much corruption going on here in the city of Chattanooga. Oh, do y'all believe me? I don't know if y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maria, can we talk a little bit about the...
Sorry about that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maria, can we talk a little bit about the uncollectible fees?
Sorry about that. It keeps playing. But what we have is, from this meeting, we have City Council that has asked to narrow the scope of our stormwater fees because they continue to do something that does not work. The system that we have in place right now is charging people the same rate regardless of the size of their lot. It's charging them the same rate. So you could be getting charged just about as much as somebody who has maybe 2 or 3 times a lot size than you. That system is not fair to begin with. And so what they continue to ask is they continue to ask for money for a study, which they've already had one study, and obviously the questions that the council members keep asking, nobody really has the answers to, and they have to get back to the council members. And now, because nobody, and we're going to find that even though Ledford asked some questions, really nobody, with the exception of Councilman Gilbert, is the only one that seems to say that not only do we need to really get this money, but we need to do it in a hurry. And then I'm going to explain why they need to do it in a hurry on the second half of the segment. People, we better wake up. These are our tax dollars. And if you know you live in a neighborhood that has no LED lights, raggedy streets, and no sidewalks, can you afford your council to not only not collect $26 million from pilots that has been evaded, but then another $5 million from federal government, as well as the University of the City of Chattanooga, that owe the city money? Stay tuned for the second half of the segment, good people.
Three, two, one.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
TVA CEO Bill Johnson has announced his retirement. Statement from Senator Bob Corker. I thank Bill for his service and look forward to continued strong leadership from the next president and CEO. A judge ruled Travis Reinking, the man accused in the Waffle House shooting in Antioch, Tennessee, is liable in a $100 million wrongful death lawsuit filed by the family of Aquila da Silva. The alleged shooter's father is also a defendant in that case, as law enforcement believes he allowed his son to access firearms even after a court order refused to allow him from getting to them. And Dora Lee Stratton was reported missing by her family Sunday. Yesterday, her body was found by detectives. She was found near her crashed Honda Accord, which ran into a gully just a short ways away from her driveway. Detectives think she got out of her vehicle after the crash, but couldn't make it out of the ravine. Val St. John for Nooga Radio. News Talk 92.7. Action News now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
The kids are back in school, routine has returned, and we've shifted our thoughts to the fast approaching holiday season. Are you hosting? Want to spruce up before your guests arrive? Whether you want new color and exciting wallpaper or elegant window treatments, the designers at Chattanooga Paint and Decorating can help. With brands like York, Tebow, Graber, and Carroll, we know you'll find something you love. Stop by Chattanooga Paint and Decorating today. It's really more than just a paint store. On Hicks and Pike, across from Valvoline, or online at ChattanoogaPaint.com.
Gold, 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 and more gold. And always buy American. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, you'll always get better rates than the banks. We'll convert your silver, diamonds, cash into gold, gold, gold. Precious American gold. Certified by the federal government. Buy American. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. 499-9162. Call 499-9162. And visit Rick at 5301 Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. Gold, 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 and more gold.
For your small business, ending the year the right way can set you up for success come January. No need to let end of year panic set in. Easy Books and Taxes can help set up your books or new payroll service so that you can relax and enjoy the holiday season. With 35 years, bookkeeping, individual, and business tax preparation, it's easy. With Easy Books and Taxes, you run the business, we keep the books. Call us today at 423-755-0821.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Man, you sure you know what you're doing? Yeah, I worked with my dad on his truck all the time. Just one more bolt to go.
Yeah, wrong bolt. Today's truck ain't your daddy's truck. For repairs on today's vehicles, you need Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way. The Thompson Pet way. Yeah, I just put that anywhere.
Hi, this is Scott Schrader. Tune in Saturdays for We've Got You Covered. From finance to fixtures and all things in between, when it comes to your home, we'll help steer you in the right direction. We've Got You Covered, 10 to 12 every Saturday on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Slowly drying out for your afternoon. Still lots of clouds, chilly. Temperatures may actually fall a couple of degrees by late this afternoon and evening. Tonight, decreasing clouds, cold, lows upper 20s. For Friday, though, sunshine returns, much nicer, lower 50s, around 60s Saturday. Looking for a new career? Georgia Northwestern Technical College is where you need to be, featuring over 200 programs. Get focused. Get hired. Spring admissions deadline is December 3rd. Visit gntc.edu. And I'm Sorgene 12 Chief Meteorologist Ash Report.
The radio 92.7.
$26 million of baby. Nobody wants to go collect that money that belongs to the taxpayers. The University of Chattanooga, Tennessee, owes the city money. And you know what? They don't want to pay. Now, can you get away with doing something like that? And the crazy part is, the really crazy part is that Mr. Holland, Mr. Justin Holland, who you heard stammering over every question he was just about asked by Councilman Ledford, who is a small business owner, as he says a lot. They have already paid this gentleman for one scope of the study. Now they want to pay him and for additional work. This man has already charged the city of Chattanooga 6 figures to do the first study, and now wants to charge us another $105,000 to do additional work. So what we're talking about are stormwater fees. Right now we're on a ERU system, which is equivalent residential unit system that a lot of council members feel is unfair because all residential properties are charged the same despite the size of the property. Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense to me. So what we have is $9,568,043 in stormwater fees that have not been collected, and over half of that belongs to city governments, including UTC. And so I'm going to play 2 more clips. One from Councilman Gilbert, who's continued to tussle with Mr. Justin Holland on getting answers to questions that he just doesn't know. And I don't understand. This was an agenda session. So this is a session that is before city council meetings. Why you would be giving a presentation, but you're not prepared to answer questions, and you're having to have people come up and answer questions for you, and you're stammering and stuttering and sweating bullets. This is our money, people. And I'm telling you, these folks are going to come back in 2020. And not only are they going to run for office, but then they're going to ask you to fund their campaigns. But they're not collecting any money that can go to parks, recreation, things to do for our children, donations that can be made to the public school system, street lights that are LED that will bring everybody. I mean, there are some lights that are LED. The majority of them are still the old dusty orange ones. Sidewalks, paved roads. Yeah. Let me play the clip by Councilman Gilbert.
This question for our lawyer. Mr. Field, I know one time we had council a while back. We on liquor tax, if I'm not mistaken, something we paid to the county. What legal grounds do we have to get this money back?
Well, if there is an improper payment to the county, then that would be one issue. I guess the issue, are you referring to it here as to the stormwater costs that they have as well? Or?
You said 9 million total?
To the county, then that would be one issue. I guess the issue, are you referring to it here as to the stormwater costs that they have as well? Or?
You said 9 million total? What legal grounds do we have to get that money back?
Well, I think this is 51.3% of the $9.4 million we were talking about on there. And the problem that you have in connection with collection of stormwater fees is it is not a tax. It is a fee under state law, and federal law is the only reason we're able to charge that fee. And that's one of the reasons they're looking at these ERUs as being the proper method of collection of that fee. If we were dealing with this as a tax, there would probably be more ability to be able to collect on it a little bit easier. Right now, these governmental entities, if they don't pay through collection, then you're forcing yourselves into a suit situation here with these bodies. And there's also statutes of limitations that run on the collection of those fees over a certain period of time.
So in other words, we need to hurry up and look into this.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, ma'am. I had a comment and then I'm going to hang up. I used to live in Red Bank and I rented a house from someone who had two houses on the same property. Our house that we were renting was on a septic tank and we still had to pay a wastewater fee. We still had to deal with the city of Chattanooga's nonsense with the wastewater, even though our home was not connected to the sewer in any way, shape, or form. I contacted all kinds of people in the city, wastewater, city council members, couldn't get anybody to give me any relief. So we actually moved because we were not going to pay that wastewater fee when we run septic tank.
Wow. And that, sir, that's not surprising, quite actually. There are people who have approached the council with a lot of issues with the city of Chattanooga. And often what you find is that you have Ken Smith, who's always writing things down. But as far as anyone really addressing the needs of the people, that's not happening. What I'm going to play is really the most important clip almost out of all of this, which is Councilwoman Burz's response to Councilman Gilbert, who feels that we should get this money back. Her response was quite interesting.
So we can look at narrowing the scope. If the council's desire is just to look at whether or not a tiered fee structure is better or legally defensible, I believe we can come back and let me stop that and come back and let you know if we can narrow the scope. And we'll be happy to present again.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know how you would want to proceed with this, but that certainly would be my intentions to just look at the tiered system versus the ERU. I don't know how anybody else on this council feels, but
can you hold that question for a second? I got a couple of more.
Okay.
Thank you. Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Chairman. I had one other follow-up question back to fees. The city attorney, this might be a question for Phil. Because it's a fee, Mr. Attorney, can the city place liens on properties for unpaid water quality fees?
We clearly have that authority for taxes. We could place a lien on the property. I believe if it's an unpaid bill, if we got a judgment, there's a question about how that works in that regard. We have provided the service to that area. It's a possibility we could do a municipal lien.
Okay, so this could come down to something we are talking about a lot around the table, and that is our enforcement rights, so to speak. And fees, you're saying that we can't put a lien on UTC. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we could put a lien. I guess the question would be what repercussions would you get when you did that?
I understand.
Yes.
Okay, very good. That was for those reporting. That was a funny. Okay, I'm not going after UTC. That's my alma mater. Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Attorney. That answered that question.
Yes.
Councilperson Burrs.
So my question
question. I had two comments. One went along with what Councilman Ledford just said. If we're really not going to pursue it, then those are illusory debts. And we need to just move on and not count them as anything that's going to help us out, whether that's right or wrong. To put up graphs for all these millions of dollars that are uncollected, the fact is we've made some sort of decision not to collect because we're not going to put a lien on UTC or the county or whatever. Then it's illusory to even have them there. I mean, it's a pretty chart, but it's not money that's ever going to come in. And so it gives us an idea of what the true need is relative to the 5 years.
Did y'all hear that? It's illusory debts, meaning like with a sleight of hand and a magic trick here, these debts disappear. Abracadabra, you have no need to pay. Go ahead, Jason. I know you've been helping me with the audio.
I haven't. I've been dying to say this since you've been doing this. If I don't pay them $35, they're at my house, Tennessee American. They're sending Tennessee American out to shut me off.
Absolutely.
You know, and then I have to pay $30 again to get reconnected. So now this $35 debt's turned into, $65, $95. They don't give me a illusionary debt. They don't go, no, Jason, you don't owe this amount of money anymore. They don't just waive it.
And we don't need to come after you. And we've made a unanimous decision that we're not going to come after you.
So that means now, as a taxpayer, I'm now going to have to eat over $1 million that UTC didn't pay in water fees or sewer fees.
Wow. This is crazy. And I'm sorry for people who said that they could not hear this. If you want to go to the 11/13/2018, I will post it on the website. Excuse me. I will post it on the Facebook page. I will post it in my forum. Marie Mott's Taking a Stand. If you have not joined that already, please do. But you can check this out. This is available on YouTube. This was the agenda session from this past Tuesday. These remarks from Councilwoman Burr start at about 1 hour and 20 minutes if you want to go back over these. Or I can email you the drop if you email me at mariemott@gmail.com. I will gladly email you each of these clips for your records if you would so choose. But illusory debts, abracadabra, they do not exist. Can you believe this? Oh, here go my man, Christopher Dahl. Talk to the people.
Yeah, I wanted to first clarify up what the council was talking about. They were talking about the water quality fee that's tied to our taxes at the end of the year. That's separate from the sewer fee. And then also, I want people to realize that what they were describing fits the description of a racket. Where they've created these issues, and now they're trying to sell us a solution. And the solution's never going to work. It's always going to fail, so they can continue to try to sell us some solution or consultant.
Thank you so much, Christopher Dahl. That is the man himself, Mr. Sewage. That's what I call him. Because Chris is always talking to the city of Chattanooga about water quality, about sewage fees and issues. This young man ran against Warren Mackey for county commission in District 4. And Chris is a fine advocate. Can you believe this? Now, Councilwoman Burrs, whether she realizes it or not, admitted that the city is participating in corruption. If you're selling us a product, then you know that it is inequitable and it does not work. And then not only is it inequitable and it does not work, but then you're charging the people with taxpayer dollars to have somebody who told us that this system right now does not work, which we already knew that anyway, right? Why somebody had to charge us 6 figures to tell us what we already knew, I do not understand. But now we're going to pay this consultant more money to try to figure out a better way, if it is one at all. Now, folks, I don't know about you, but if Neil Pinkston wants to do severe overreach and arrest poor, impoverished people for RICO charges in poor neighborhoods, but he's missing out on making one of the most formidable choices that would launch his career to being anything he wanted to be, going after people in the city of Chattanooga for racketeering. Folks, this is RICO. This is municipal RICO. And the sad part is if you do your research, you'll see that there have been municipalities which have been charged with RICO statutes doing the same thing in other cities. This is taxpayer dollars. This is a fee schedule that is only allowable by federal permission. Councilwoman Burrs, thank you so much for making the biggest mistake of your career and admitting that the council does not want to go after this money and that you guys have been okay with selling us a product that does not work, charging us additional money to have people consult for us, telling us what we already know. And now we're going to give them more money. And now we want to lessen the scope of what we want to do. So now people can pretend like they don't have to go collect that money when we know that the people can't imagine, can't. So if my bills are too high, can I call into EPB? If I feel like my bills are too high, I feel like I really should not have to pay sewage fees. It's ridiculous. We're paying all of this money and our water is still crappy. We're not getting anything done. This is an inequitable system and nobody has to do anything about it. I want to ask the people a legitimate question. What do we need the city council for? If they're not going to do their job, if Ledford's going to ask the questions, but he's not going to say that we're going to go after this money, even if that means we're all going to have to bust up on UTC and maybe even threaten to put a lien on them because they would do it to the people who are already paying. Let me say that again. They would do it to you. They would do it to you. What council person is going to show up on your doorstep if you get behind, right? Because you got a lot going on in your life. There's a lot of people struggling to make it here in the city of Chattanooga. What council person is going to petition that you can get behind and get to stay in your household and live the dream? They're not going to do it. So how can we allow? Because if you go look at the entirety of the presentation, basically what the consultant told them was that an inequitable system, the guy sounded like he could barely speak English. This inequitable system is the most efficient system that we can use. It's time for a second opinion if we're going to get a consultant in the first place. We need somebody new, and we need somebody that Justin Holland is not going to pick. Because, see, this is why I need to be mayor. Because until Justin Holland can answer whether or not we got contractors using city equipment to do jobs that we're paying them additional tax money to do, he couldn't choose any more contractors or I have not heard any follow-up about that. The questions that Councilman Gilbert, and if you go back a week and look at that city council meeting, you'll see Burrs basically saying a lot of the same rhetoric that she mentioned this past Tuesday, which was basically, Gilbert, why are you pressing the issue? Don't you know there's nothing we can do about this stuff? And the biggest question of all is who suffers? Taxpayers suffer. Our children suffer. Our streets suffer. Do we understand that there are neighborhoods in the city of Chattanooga that do not have pharmacies or grocery stores? Can we afford to walk away from tens of millions of dollars every single year? I'm just asking a question. Can we afford that? When we have neighborhoods that do not have access to medicine and fresh fruits and vegetables, can we afford to walk away from tens of millions of dollars when we know that there are elderly people who are behind on their taxes? And I don't know, maybe we could take some of that money that these corporations owe us, and we could forgive the taxes of our elderly. That an idea? Maybe we could take this money and invest it in our surplus buildings and make micro apartments for Chattanooga's homeless population, which is increasing in the city. I don't know about you, but maybe $26 million is enough to bring Kirkman High School back to the city of Chattanooga. Our technical high school, of which is no more. It's Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show, laying it all on the line. If people cared about us, they would do right by us. It's not enough to just ask questions and talking to the mic. Who's going to get off of their behind and go get this money? I really like to know. For the taxpayers, who's going to collect? Mayor Burke, will it be you? You didn't shake my hand last night, and that's cool. I don't want negative energy. But are you going to go get this money before you leave? Before you leave us? You got 2 years. That's enough to go collect all of this. Any council persons? Who wants to be the first? The only one I believe who even has the guts maybe is Gilbert. But it doesn't look like anybody's going to... We better fight back here, people. 1 man, one woman can change the world, but I am not enough. I need your help. Y'all know what it is. Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show, fighting for you. If no one is taking this time today to tell you that they love you, I love you. I wouldn't be fighting for you if I didn't love you. And guess what? It's nothing that you can do about it. The proof is in the pudding.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news. Now.
TVA CEO Bill Johnson has announced his retirement. Statement from Senator Bob Corker. I thank Bill for his service and look forward to continued strong leadership from the next president and CEO. A judge ruled Travis Reinking, the man accused in the Waffle House shooting in Antioch, Tennessee, is liable in a $100 million wrongful death lawsuit filed by the family of Aquila da Silva. The alleged shooter's father is also a defendant in that case, as law enforcement believes he allowed his son to access firearms even after a court order refused to allow him from getting to them. And Dora Lee Stratton was reported missing by her family Sunday. Yesterday, her body was found by detectives. She was found near her crashed Honda Accord, which ran into a gully just a short ways away from her driveway. Detectives think she got out of her vehicle after the crash, but couldn't make it out of the ravine. Val St. John for Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News.